Hello, welcome again to my channel, and I hope you all are doing okay. Right, in my last video I talked about how the UK is now employing teachers from overseas to come in and teach in the UK. And if you haven't seen that video, please go back to it and watch it, because I kind of detailed all you need to know to come in through the 4-year exemption rule. Now again, I'm just going to give a quick summary. So there are two ways you can come into the UK to teach as a teacher. So number one is you come in through the 4-year exemption rule, or you come in through the QTS assessment route. So I did talk a lot and a bit about the 4-year exemption rule, which is the option that is open now to people who would like to apply to come in to teach, and all that you need to know. So I'm going to leave a card up here and a link for you to go access that video and watch that if you haven't. So today I'm just going to be focusing a bit more on the QTS assessment route you can use to come in to the UK to teach as a teacher. Now the QTS route will be open to countries like, just get my list up in a second. So the QTS route only will be open to teachers in this country, so Ghana, Hong Kong, India, Jamaica, Nigeria, Singapore, South Africa, Ukraine, and Zimbabwe from February 1st next year, so 2023. It's currently open to teachers from other countries. So that route is currently open to teachers from Australia, Canada, the EEA, Gibraltar, New Zealand, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Switzerland, and the USA. So at the moment, these other countries can apply for the QTS assessment route only. And then from February 1st, 2023, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Ukraine, Zimbabwe, and all other countries, some other countries, not all countries, some other countries which I've already mentioned, will be able to apply for that. Now, what is QTS? As a qualified teacher here in the UK, QTS means that you are you have a qualified teaching status. That's what QTS means, and that with that you can work in any primary school or I think secondary school in the UK. I am primary teaching based, so I don't know a lot about secondary. It is not my area or specialization. Mine is mainly primary. And for you to be able to have QTS, you should have gone through teacher training. Now we have different ways to qualify as a teacher in the UK. So you can go through university, or you can go through schools direct, where you are employed by the school and then you train to become a teacher while you are being employed as a teacher, or maybe as a teaching assistant or something in that school, and then you can do your training. So we have different routes. Or you can do the PGC. So PGC is like a master's. If you've got maybe a first degree in another course and you want to become a teacher, then you can go ahead and do the PGC for 1 year, and then, which is basically is in uni, do that for 1 year, and then you become a qualified teacher. Now, when you qualify with any of this route, you also need to go through the newly qualified teachers standards, so which is basically what you do once you become a qualified teacher. But I don't have to go into all of that because that's not the essence of this video. So now you can come into the UK two ways, which I have said before. You can come in through the 4-year exemption rule, where you do not need QTS to come into this rule, through this way, but you need to be qualified as a teacher from your country, but you do not need QTS. Now, QTS is very peculiar to the UK, because that's how they know that you are a qualified teacher. So it's called QTS. It's not, I don't know about what other countries call theirs, but in the UK it's called Q. When you hear me say QTS, is what is peculiar to the UK, which shows that you are a qualified teacher. So either you come in through the QTS assessment route, or you come in through the 4-year exemption rule, where you do not need QTS to come in, but you need to be qualified as a teacher in your country, and then you can apply to come in and teach for 4 years. And after 4 years, you should be in the process of getting your qualified teacher status in the UK, or should have gotten your qualified teacher status in the UK after the 4 years. Okay. Now, the QTS route, or route, I know I keep saying route because it's American. Anyway, the QTS route, that one you can apply to become a qualified teacher from your country. Now, I'm going to use Nigeria again because Nigeria is my home country, so I'm going to use Nigeria. Now, you do not need to be a qualified teacher in Nigeria to be able to go through the QTS route to come in to teach in the UK. But you need to have, I think, 2 years minimum experience of having worked in a school. In fact, 2 schools. You need to show that you have worked in 2 schools over a considerable amount of time. Now, but then and then you can then apply to be assessed. Now, the QTS assessment route is where you will be put through several, I think, interviews. They're going to check your portfolio. They're going to observe you teach, and then also just basically check all through that to make sure that you meet the UK qualified teaching standard in your country to be able to be qualified as a teacher for you to come into the UK to teach. Now, all of this will be done in your country, so you don't need to come to the UK to do it. They can do it from your country. And I think there is a fee for that. So I think, I'm not 100% sure with the .gov because I haven't gone to the .gov to have a good look. But looking at the TES website, which is another site where you can get lots of teaching instructions and things like that. The TES website I saw is £3,000 you need to pay to be able to go through this route. Now, they will assign you to an assessor who will come and observe you. I think you need to put things together like your teaching portfolio, your lesson plans that you've done in the past and all of that. You need to put all of this together. They will come and look through those, and then also your qualifications. So any qualifications that you have in your country, they will also look through it. And I think they also need to make sure that your qualification, for instance, if you have WAEC or GCSE that is equivalent to what we have in the UK. Okay, so I think it's changed. They used to be called UK NARIC. I don't know what the name they're called now. So it's an institution whereby they will take your grades, and then they will assess it and check and weigh it and see if it qualifies, it matches up with what we have in the UK here for that level. And then they will let you know if that is okay or not. So you need to have all of that. They're not going to collect photocopies. I think they're going to collect, I think they need originals of all your documents and things like that, your qualifications. They need the originals. And then you need to show evidence that you've planned a lesson from scratch. You need to show evidence that you can deliver a lesson. They will observe you teach, and a whole lot of stuff. Now, all of this will be done in your country, I think, for 3 months. The duration of time for this to happen is 3 months. And then if after that they feel that you have met all the criteria, then they are going to apply to the teacher regulations. I don't know what they're called in the full name. They're going to apply to the teaching regulations here in the UK for them to give you a qualified teaching status from a UK perspective. Now, when they do that, you will now be seen as a fully qualified teacher UK standard. Then, once you've gotten that, then you can now begin to apply for jobs in the UK. And then through that, you can then come into the country. So it's not something that you have to do physically in the UK. If you're in the UK, I don't know what the process is, but this is basically for overseas applicants. Okay, so you just need to apply. Now, also, there's something you need to bear in mind, that if they're going to try to find an assessor that is very close to your location, to your country, but if they're not able to find an assessor in your country, then bear in mind that you are also going to pay for them to be able to fly anyone from here to your country to do the assessment for you. So that is the cost that you may have to bear. So bear in mind that it might not just be the £3,000 you are paying, it might be more than that. But it is something that once you've done it and you've acquired that status, then you are highly employable as a teacher in the UK. You are highly employable because now you have a qualified teaching status in the UK, even though you're still in your country. So you have that. So therefore, you can now go and apply to any school in the UK to be able to teach as a teacher here. So that's the qualified teacher assessment route that you can also take to come in to teach as a teacher in the UK. Now, I'm just going to go again to to see if I can find out a bit more about the .gov. Of course, as I said, a lot of these you can find with .gov in .gov. If you go and you read it and you're not sure and you need more clarification, you can always leave me an email or a message underneath this video and I will follow up. I try as much as possible to respond to any comments, anyone questions or anything. I try as possible to respond to them. So if you read it and you're not sure of anything, then you can always come back to me and ask questions, and I'm more than happy to do that for you. Now, again, this and more you can find in the .gov website, but the .gov website I wasn't able to go any further because when you say, okay, teach qualified teacher assessment route, it takes you through a process of trying to start the process. And since I'm not looking to qualify as a teacher, because I already have that, I don't want to then start it and then leave halfway. And then sometimes they will send you a reminder and say, oh, you haven't completed what you started. So I didn't do that. But from the TES website, I saw that it is £3,000 you need to pay to be able to go through this assessment, qualified teacher assessment route. And then, of course, you have to also bear in mind too that you're going to bear travel expenses for whoever it is that they're going to bring into your country if they cannot find an assessor close enough to be able to do this for you in your country. So these are the two ways. Again, even after the qualified teacher status, you've been given qualified teacher status, you also then need to go ahead and apply for a skilled visa, which first of all, you need to get a job. Again, I keep saying you need to get a job because even with that, except you just want to come in, and then while you're in here, you begin to apply for jobs, that's fine. But the main thing you need to do, first of all, I think for me, is you apply for, even though you get the qualified teaching status, apply for a job from your whole country, and then you can then come in and you can then begin to apply for visas and things like that from there, because you're more likely to get a visa if you have a job offer than the other way around. So these are the two ways you can come in, through the 4-year exemption rule and the qualified teaching status, which I've just explained to you all you need to know about that that route. As I read more into it and I get a bit more information, I'm going to come and add on to this video and share with you. Again, as I said, if you've got any questions, you've got any comments, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below and I will attend to those as soon as I can. Okay, there it is. Look out for my next video. My next video will probably be on where you can find teacher jobs in the UK, how, and the websites and places where you can find jobs in the and for teaching jobs in the UK to apply for. Okay, have a fantastic day, week, whatever, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.